Senator, good morning. Congratulations, by the way. Well, I guess I should wait till the vote, but
yeah, don't jinx me. But,
yeah, really.
Good morning, and thank you. It's quite an honor.
Yeah, because I remember I've covered you for a long time, started out in the House of Delegates, then the Senate Majority Leader, and now you're going to be the Senate President. Have you thought about that? Have you put that in context?
Well, obviously, when you start at the back row in the minority party, and then you're able to come to this position, you do reflect on your career and the paths that have taken you to this point, and it's just an honor and a privilege. And it's a great responsibility also to, this state is in desperate need of reform, of a new direction, and I want to facilitate that and help every member realize the dream of a better West Virginia.
Senator, I think one commonality of almost everybody, virtually everybody who's there, is they want a better West Virginia. Now, they have different versions of how to get there, different versions of what should or should not be done, but there is a unity that they want better things for the state. Okay, you start there. But then how do you keep that broad coalition? How do you keep that going in the right direction when inevitably differences come up on everything?
Well, certainly differences come up, but what I have observed is that too often people, for personal reasons or for other extraneous reasons that don't really have to do with the policy issues that are before us. You're right. You're 1,000% right, and I want to call upon all people of goodwill to work together to put those, any personal issues, political issues, special interest group issues behind them and work to do what's right for the people of West Virginia, because it's been my experience that there are, in private conversations and so forth, there is broad agreement on what it takes to move the state forward. And so once we appeal to the, sort of the better angels among us, that we can all do the right thing and still achieve the goal of moving West Virginia forward in the right direction and being true to ourselves.
You have an overwhelming majority in the Senate, 22-12. You can do in the Senate, and there'll be divides among the majority in the Senate, but you can do pretty much anything you want. With that in mind, what role will you have for the minority, for the minority leader, Roman Prezioso? How inclusive are you going to be with them on whatever you try to do?
Completely inclusive. Yes, we have a great majority that the people of West Virginia have vested the Republicans with in this term of the legislature, but that doesn't mean every idea that the Democrat Party puts forth is bad. Roman Prezioso is a great guy. He's a great friend of mine. I have many great friends on the Democrat side of the aisle, and they have wonderful ideas. And so I'm going to meet with Roman regularly, probably daily, to incorporate their ideas to help move West Virginia forward, because they're not that much. They're not that much different. There are some significant policy differences, but at the end of the day, as you started the segment, they want to a better West Virginia and to move our state forward. And that's going to be my goal as President of the Senate, is to incorporate all of those great ideas and without regard to political affiliation, and move the state forward. I think that's what the people of West Virginia really want and deserve.
Senator Mitch Carmichael is with us, Republican, Jackson County, and today, when the Senate goes in session at noon, he will be elected the president of the state Senate. I heard, and as soon as everybody gets under the Capitol Dome, I'm not there yet, but I will be next week for inauguration, rumors start to fly, you start to hear all kinds of things. Is there any talk about a special session before before the session actually begins in earnest in a month? Have you heard? Is there any discussion like that?
Well, no, I have not heard any discussion about that. So I'll be surprised to hear that. I wouldn't be opposed to it if there's something significant that the administration has put forth that wants us to address prior to the session, but I have frankly not heard a peep about that.
Okay, well, maybe it's just a rumor. Of course, there are never rumors at the Capitol. That never comes up, Mitch.
Never comes up.
So what's going to happen over the night? You're going to at noon today. You're gaveling. What happens until Governor Tomlin gives his speech at 2:00 today?
Well, we'll be swearing in the new members of the Senate. And we'll conduct our business in the Senate and probably take about an hour and a half, and then we will repose to the House chamber to hear an address by the governor, his farewell address, as well as receive the election results for statewide offices from the Secretary of State. We'll do some other offices that are incumbent upon running the Senate chamber, like Sergeant at Arms, doorkeeper, those things, and so adopt the rules, the pay scales of the Senate, those type things. Just organization of the Senate.
Mm-hmm. What do you? Governor Tomlin was on this show earlier, and he's ready to sine die himself out of office here. Mm-hmm. What will his legacy be? He's a guy from the other party, but got along pretty well with most folks. What is his legacy, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think Governor Tomlin has been a great steward of the taxpayer dollars. I think he's, in the terms of his gubernatorial, tenure, he's had difficult financial circumstances thrust upon him. The national administration has had West Virginia in the crosshairs, and the downturn in the fossil fuel industry. But to his credit, and throughout his tenure, he has been a great fiscal steward of the taxpayer dollars, and I think that will be his legacy. He's been a great friend and a good person to work with, and I think good for the state of West Virginia.
There was a reception the other night, I guess at the governor's mansion, and senators who had served with him were invited, and I think something like 70 or 80 senators showed up, which is pretty remarkable when you think about it.
Right, I was present, and it was a testament to his friendships that he's developed over the years, and just the fact that he's able to work across the aisle. I think you would agree he's not a partisan in any way. I think he really does view the merit of the issues as opposed to the partisanship of the party, and which that's what we need in this state and in this country.
Senator Mitch Carmichael, who today will do you gavel in, or does Cole gavel in and you take over? How's that work at noon? Who gavels in?
Actually, the clerk of the Senate will gavel in, and then the person with the longest serving member in continuous service will be Donna Boley, Senator Donna Boley, and she'll preside until and if I'm elected Senate President.
Mm-hmm. And Boley's been, she's been there what? I'll tell you, Boley remembers the day when she and one other were the only two Republicans in the Senate.
Actually, Hoppy, there was a day when she was the only Republican in the Senate.
Really?
There were one Republican member, it was Donna Boley, and 33 Democrat members. So when you talk about the perspective of someone who is in that podium, and her perspective of being one member and now in the majority party with 22 Republican senators, what an amazing perspective. She's been just an incredible asset to the people of West Virginia.
Senator Mitch Carmichael, incoming Senate President. Congratulations. Enjoy the day. We'll talk to you soon about stuff facing West Virginia, okay?
Look forward to it. Thank you, Hoppy.